to Jennings, makes a move at the 5, touchdown. Wilson in trouble, a fumble. Powell Ryland rigged it out.
Welcome into a new series called Coach's Corner, a new weekly series where we'll break down film from some of the top performers within the Hokie football program. Mitch Gerber alongside the All-American Kevin Jones and head coach Brent Pry. Coach, before we actually dive into a couple of these plays, as an avid fan of football, I think it would just be cool to hear how you approach game film. So each week you go to break things down. What are some of the immediate things that you look for?
I think most coaches would say the first two items are execution and effort. You want both. You want to see both of those things. From there, it's the finer points of technique, maybe what the opposing unit did that was problematic. What could we do better on that particular play to make it have a chance to be more successful? But execution and effort go a long way in the play being a good one.
All right, we're going to break things down because you two are much more knowledgeable about this stuff. So you guys get after it, and we'll start with APR's forced fumble.
Yeah, this was a great example of the skill set, number one, that he brings. I think every good pass rush starts with great takeoff. He's got pretty good takeoff here. But what really, this is a situation where his low shoulder bend and lean just does a great job. Not everybody can do this right here. Make that turn. We work on it like crazy with all the positions on defense. But particularly you want that at defensive end.
Yeah, he brings that left foot around too that gets him to dig in there and then launch to the quarterback, but also get the ball out at the same time. So I think he hit a few of those different points. It's kind of good teach tape.
It is. And, when you look at it from the end zone copy, you can see the other piece of this that we invested a lot in this summer is his hand violence. He's very active. He makes it hard for 71 to get those hands on him and keep him on him. He does a pretty good job stabbing here and then goes to his rip. But then just that low shoulder, like you said, getting that left foot around, getting his toe pointed where he wants to go with that low shoulder lean. And then really does a great job with a good physical tackle.
How much has he added to the defense? How much value does he bring? Because he's a new guy here. And we obviously see the results, but what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think he's an example of one of these older guys from the transfer portal that was able to come in here and impact the team as a skill set, technique, work ethic, and then ultimately just being a good guy and a good teammate, which is just as important to us.
At what point during fall camp did you realize that this guy's a freak?
Yeah, honestly, in preseason camp, he had a pass rush in front of the whole team in one of our competitive periods against Xavier Chaplin, who we got a lot of respect for. He's done a nice job in his own right. And, he put a spin move on big Xavier that had everybody leave their feet. It was the game winner. The competitive period was tied up. It was a big moment, pretty big stage in front of all your peers, and it was just an awesome thing to see. And I think we can, he's going to continue to build on this game and continue to add to his rush game, but also, to his play in the run game.
It was cool. After the game, we talked to him on the Triumph post-game show, and you could see his eyes all lit up, and he was having fun again, which I think was cool to see that after the game. All right, let's go from APR towards Ollie Jennings. Speaking of another transfer who had a heck of a performance, week one, hopefully parlaying that into week two. Coach, what did you see with this play?
Yeah, so what I like about this is Coach Bowen put him in a shrink set, right? You basically have an overloaded bunch to the top of the screen. And so that's going to tend to have people kind of crowd the box and get down in there and play it pretty tight. So they shrunk the formation, but then exploded and got width, right? And all of a sudden you got a safety. It's just a high-low game over here, but you got a safety that doesn't have good leverage to defend this route. He's an inside leverage player, and we're getting a corner cut, a really nice route out of Ali. It's a throw to the pylon for Grant, which he does a beautiful job of. It's a good, just pitch and catch using their own leverage against them. it's hard to defend that route. You're just running away from his leverage, from the DB's leverage. Now it's got to be a spot-on throw, and you got to make a nice catch, and he does both.
Yeah, I was telling Mitch earlier that a lot of things go on that your average viewer doesn't really see in the game. So Malachi getting out there as a back, pulling that corner, the other safety over. The linebacker in the corner over to the right frees up that spacing a little bit better for Ali to get there. But Ali also ran this route like he would run any other route. Full speed, great leverage, and got to the corner and used his hands and eyes to catch that ball. So he did a great job with that.
Yeah, I think your point about the hands and eyes is absolutely right, because these aren't easy balls to catch. And
the other thing that was impressive is he did the hands, but when he rolled over, he cradled the ball like this so the ref wouldn't, it's an easy call for the ref, touchdown.
Right.
The ball didn't come out, the defender didn't have a chance to wedge his hand in there and get it out. It was perfect.
Yeah, that's an experienced move. But going back to the beginning of this route, what you said strikes a chord with me, because right here, if I'm the defender, I don't know if I'm getting an inside cut or an outside cut. And, it looks like they're going to have this thing viced. And again, to your point, KJ, Malachi threatening the flat, it's just a check down throw, but more than anything, it's just it's a teaser, right? It's to get those guys to bite up on that, kind of let that magnetize that corner where we got the open window for the throw.
All you need is a half a second, half a step.
I mean, how good of a ball is that, though?
The ball is a great ball, too.
Yeah, this is one of those, you practice throwing this right at that pylon.
Yep.
And that's where Ali's got to finish this route. So that's about practice and reps at it and reps at it and reps at it. And then the other piece is you got a nice pocket right here. You got a nice, Grant can step into the throw. There's no threat here. They're actually overloaded in coverage. They've dropped 8 here with this guy trying to peel with our running back. Yeah, that was a good play.
Little pitch and catch. All right, that's going to wrap things up for this first episode of Coach's Corner. Coach, appreciate you.
I know
stopping by,
KJ
breaking
probably
us down.
wishes we threw to the running back. Right.
No, I wanted to see Ali get his, too.
I get you.
Yeah, we'll have one of those plays in the future. Virginia Tech going to take on a new opponent this Saturday inside Lane Stadium at 12 Eastern. Purdue, to be exact, and Orange Effect, so be sure to show up early. Be loud again. It was Rockin' Stadium in there on Saturday. And once again, Coach, appreciate you stopping by.
Yeah, glad to do it, guys. Thank you.
Sir, appreciate it.